E aí, pessoal, beleza? Eu sou o Nauan e a gente vai ter continuando a nossa série de What Remains of Edith Finch. Onde a gente parou aqui, a gente tinha visto a história do Gregory. Inclusive, eu fiz uma edição bem avacalhada. Como vocês puderam ver no episódio anterior, quem tá assistindo, né? Ficou horrível, mas eu não tinha muito o que fazer. Mas e se vocês estiverem gostando do vídeo, compartilha com alguém que possa gostar também. Se inscreve no canal se estiver gostando para não perder os próximos episódios. Vamos continuar então. Dawn, Gus. Vamos botar no skate ali, ó. Vamos ver. Um S de dinheiro ainda. Ó, já tem a próxima história que é a dele, inclusive. No mesmo quarto. Vamos dar uma observada no cenário antes. Pra cá foi da onde a gente veio, né? Dali. Então, deixa eu ver se tem mais alguma coisa antes da gente ir embora. Ó, o relógio parado, cara. Tá. A luz de cada um, ó. Tá até com os nomes. É, óbvio que tá com os nomes, né? É na casa deles? Tá, então dá pra ir pra fora, por aqui. Acho que é pra subir por ali, se eu não me engano. Quer dizer, é pra subir por ali, mas vamos, vamos pra história dele. Um poema para Gus.
Poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Eu meio que tirei as palavras antes dela falar, mas eu vou tentar ir mais devagar agora, que eu não me lembrava que era assim. Tá. Tem que ir caçando as palavras.
My father made him
Legal.
come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
E agora essa outra aqui. Tô indo tudo torto, cara.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Ó, o casamento acontecendo ali.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to
Come here.
But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Muito bom. Eu batendo em tudo. Ah, é aqui de novo. Nossa, é horrível de controlar essa pipa, cara.
And panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Ó,
The rain came
Tá
down
com-
in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
tá começando a ficar sinistro. Olhei pro lado porque tá chovendo na vida real também, cara. Fez um barulho na janela. O que é pra gente pegar agora? Deve ser essas coisas aqui. Olha, aí pegamos mais coisa.
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Parabéns, cara. Gênio. Eu queria aqui.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Parabéns, hein, pro pai. Muito bom. Então tá. Ó as coisas, os deveres ali. 7h30, hastear a bandeira. 8, café. 11, quiet. Enfim, vão. Ó, o Gus tinha que... Nossa, limpar o chão. Meu Deus, tá bom. Greg, ser um bebê. Tá. A rotina ali embaixo, tava olhando. Coisa de exercício.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Tá. Dawn. Tem uma bíblia aqui.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Dá pra gente sair já.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Calcutá. Um mapa da Índia. As fotos ali, né? As fotos estão meio baixa resolução, essas coisas, né? Voar pra Índia. Tá marcado aí, né? Ela tava estudando sobre a Índia, né? Vamos lá.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
Certo. Ó, tem uma cadeira caída ali, cara. Que bagunça é essa? Ó, energia solar, ó. Essa casa tem todas as coisas que é possível ter.
When my dad
E o que não é possível
I
também.
don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Milton, Lewis, Edith, eu falando tudo.
Again.
Triste, né? A história que ela tava contando.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
A gente tá chegando naquela parte da casa que é antifísica. Que ignora as leis da física.
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Por um tempo, né? A tabuada. Não tem ali, cara, os resultados, ó. Pensei que tinham colado aqui, mas era o nome do cara só. Fato ou ficção. Lendo como uma coruja. Que bonito, né, esse lugar aqui.
But it didn't last.
Óbvio que não ia durar. Método científico. Tá. Peraí. Pensei que a maçã era alguma coisa a ver com as leis da física e ia ser muito contraditório. Mas não é.
beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Castelo, cara.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Tá. Não tem a data ali, não. 92 até... que ele desapareceu, né? Então... Nunca consideraram morto mesmo. Isso daí é triste, né? Pessoas que desaparecem assim. Salvando.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Como que funciona esse elevador aqui, cara? Eu não vi como é que funciona ele. Tá. Então vamos ver a história do Milton, né?
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Isso aqui é legal de fazer. Uma porta.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Play 5 tem um efeito no gatilho pra aquela... pra gente... como se estivesse passando o dedo nas folhas... passando, sabe? Bem legal. A música tá muito legal, né? Esse jogo tem uma trilha sonora muito boa. Tá. Aqui era só isso. Só entre aspas, eu digo, né? Vambora.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Meses. Pensei que ia ser anos. Vários anos. A gente veio pela janela. Foi. Vamos lá.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Tá. Mais pra... a gente não veio de cima, né? Eu bem perdido. Pera aí. A gente saiu daqui e foi direto pra lá, né? O jogo é bem intuitivo, né? Eu nem vi que tinha isso aqui. O jogo fez de propósito isso,
Mom
parece.
definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After
Deu uma
he
piscada
graduated,
ali.
he just spent more and more time in his room until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Vamos ver sobre essa história aí dele, então. Dá pra entrar por ali. Aqui dá pra ver já. 2010.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
Por que será, né? Olha ali o quarto dele. É, Luiz. Cara, eu ia falar que eu ia lá primeiro antes de vir aqui, mas aqui não tem nada. Não é como se eu tivesse muita opção. casa dele é simplesmente um barco que colocaram de alguma forma em cima desta casa. Deixa eu aproveitar que eu tô aqui em cima pra ver a vista, ó. Deu.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on. Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Isso aqui é tipo um Play 1. E o controle é tipo aquele... Parece aquele controle de Super Nintendo modernizado. Da 8-bit, não sei o que. 8-bit do. Igualzinho. Mas eu acho que isso aqui... Não sei, talvez tenha sido lançado esse jogo antes desse controle que eu tô falando. Não tenho certeza. Tá. Mas é bem pra ser um Play 1, né? Os memory card ali. Vamos ver as coisas dele. Meu Deus, cara. Minha impressão, ele gravava vários filmes. É, ó, ele era pirateiro, cara. Ele... O filme tudo escrito zoado, cara. Nossa. Que pirateiro. Então vamos lá.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior.
Essa história também é contada de um jeito muito legal, olha só.
His mind began to wander.
Ó, eu tô controlando com o analógico esquerdo o joguinho e com o direito o peixe. Pra representar, né? A loucura que ele tá.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
Eu não consigo coordenar isso aqui. É, eu acho que essa, inclusive, é a ideia do jogo. Tá meio diabo esse labirinto aqui.
Something moved. Bats and toads. And things that have not names.
Ele já tá ficando doidão.
He knew it was all in his head.
Tá misturando já, vocês viram, né? Olha ali, aquele peixe não era pra estar ali.
I had hoped he'd find himself.
Tá ficando colorido.
But he found something more.
3D.
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. but he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
Liberou, cara. Liberou.
Encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first.
Vocês estão vendo, né?
He told me he'd
Tá,
made a new friend.
tá ocupando mais espaço. Ele falou pra psicóloga que fez um novo amigo e o amigo tá dentro do negócio que ele tá
A
imaginando.
city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality.
Só agora?
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
Minneapolis,
Even
Louis.
as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Ela tá ali falando.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for
Serpentes sinistras.
sinister serpents.
Parece mais divertido. Não lembro qual que eu escolhi quando eu joguei pela primeira vez.
He followed the sound of her
Citar? Não, acho que harpa é mais legal, né?
silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Olha a tela.
He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Agora eu vou o jogo em terceira
He was
pessoa.
so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Eu fui pela escada que o jogo não queria que eu fosse, né?
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
A nossa mão sumiu. Ó, agora a gente tá na vida real, né? Eu acho. Deve ser horrível trabalhar num lugar desse, cara. Será que esse é o armário dele? Isso aqui é tipo um... Que videogame que é esse? Não sei dizer.
He began to forget the world we know.
Chegou pra trabalhar.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Bizarro, né? Pior que eu não sei o que eu posso fazer agora.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Olha isso, cara.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
Mole ali, ó.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Esse final eu nem lembrava, é muito bizarro, né? Eu pensava que ele cortava a mão. Não lembrava disso. Lembrava de toda a historinha que ele faz ali, até da parte que ele vira rei ali. Mas do final ali da guilhotina eu não lembrava, é muito bizarro isso. Quantas histórias que faltam? Bom, vamos sair daqui. Ali, ó. Onde diz saída.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Tem uma oração ali. Tô olhando a caneca ali. Não deu pra ver muito bem o que tava escrito.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Origami.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Vamos. Vamos contar o
The
final.
whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
To our final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Nada sinistro nessas velas.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
História dos Finches. Por Edith Finch.
There's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Por onde que eu vou?
I got turned around.
Hã? Onde que eu tô, cara?
For a while, I wondered. I started seeing things.
Coisas.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go.
I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I
E?
never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it.
É a gente que tá mexendo aqui, tá?
A few years went by.
Alguns anos se passaram.
My mom
É legal fazer isso aqui.
about it. But she started getting sick a lot. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
Tá, essa parte aqui é meio
This
bizarra.
summer was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Rip Edit. Legal os créditos, né? Passando no tom do jogo, né? Essa parte é muito legal, né? Quando a gente descobre que era o filho dela. E mais uma pessoa se foi pela maldição, barra não maldição, né? Da família. Esse jogo é muito bom, hein? Mas diz aí se vocês gostaram do vídeo, da série. Compartilha com alguém que possa gostar também. Se inscreve no canal se estiver gostando. Se gostou, na verdade, da série. E é isso. Adeus.